Now, unfortunately, our Wi-Fi or something went offline, so we kind of lost the stream. The browser got stuck. The browser wasn't streaming shit, and unfortunately, a lot of people have probably missed out and not knowing that our stream was acting funky. I did not reset Chrome before I started the stream, so maybe there's some memory leaks in Chrome or something that causes the stream not to stream correctly. But I'm up. I'm just resending out the invites. Let's hope this time it stays working. As it said, I said, hey, Michelle, guess what? You know what? You're not sending data. I'm like, what? I'm certainly sending data. But that's what it was saying. I was like, saying is, do that. Your internet is not interneting. I just checked the watering closet. It's interneting. All right, so let's get back to what I was saying. Since technically it is actually 5 minutes to 8. Theoretically, I'm starting early anyway, so I don't even need to keep the other stream. The other stream is just basically a bunch of beginning preambles. We can pretty much start over here from scratch for those of you who did not know. I talked to T-Mobile today on Facebook, T-Force. Excuse me. And I explained to them that because of my knee injury, I could not afford to get my home internet turned back on. And they said, oh, okay. And I said, but I'm interested in your home internet package when it comes to Wednesday. And they actually described my home internet use and what I was using for provider 4. I said I was with Frontier, and they were charging me just for the internet side of the connection. Oh, excuse me, about $80 a month. Oh, is that right? No, it wasn't quite right. It was actually $110 for both the home internet and the phone lines together. At the home internet is what we're talking about. I said they were charging me about $50 a month for 16 megabits per second down, 1 megabit per second up on DSL. Unlimited, but honestly, for unlimited, you're not going to get a hell of a lot. All right? Because you can't even stream 720p. At least with T-Mobile, I can stream 720p. How well it streams, I can't tell you that. I don't know. Because right now it works most of the time. And every so often, and it will do something. And I'm not going to answer questions that I don't feel like answering. So if you have any funny questions, you're not going to get your answers. Period. I don't care if you like it or not. Okay? So anyway, back to the story. So they said to me, well, okay, well, right now, the home internet option is not available in your area yet. However, being you're using a mobile hotspot to access T-Mobile Tower, which is normally not something they recommend, but they said, well, since you already had the plan for so long anyway, you see why you're using it, because it already exists. And they said to me, well, I asked them, I said, what kind of plans do you have? I said, I needed some upgrades. So I need to get an idea of how much data I use. But he said, well, this month, you used a lot of data. You actually used 7 gigabytes of data. And I said, yeah, I know. I had to update my World of Warcraft games, too. And I asked that so I was not whitelisted for data stash. Just uploading the video games data. And they said, well, here's what we're going to do. Number one, if you want, you can upgrade to a 10 gigabyte plan, for $40 more. I said, does that include data stash? He said, yes. I said, okay. And he said, we can also recommend, try to get you on the mobile or home internet package when it comes out. But he has no real, best plan because you just started using it for home internet. He said so. Right now, he said you already used 7 gigabytes of data. You got 6 days left. So he said right now you're using your data stash. He said I'm telling you what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you an additional 10 gigabytes of data stash to tide you over for this month and into next month, so that you at least can keep streaming your YouTube videos. He says I've watched your videos. He said I know you try really hard. You've been with us even before the uncarrier plans came into existence. And I said, I don't mind promoting your products. I said, I would not mind having you guys as a sponsor on my YouTube channel. So he gave me a link to the channel to do sponsorships. I have to be honest, they don't have anything strictly for YouTube content creators. So they're talking mostly about things like artistics and sporting events or community service plans. Since I do promote Soup Kitchen using T-Mobile as well, that they basically said just, fill out as much of the form as you can and send it out to us and we'll look into it. So we did that. And anyway, that's what they said to me is, so he gave me a free 10 gigabytes of data stash to tide me over for 2 months' time. Nice. Okay, for one big chunk of 10 gigabytes of data stash. Hopefully it should last 2 months. And he said, I'm going to make sure we can see if we can get you expedited onto the home internet package when it becomes available in your area. I'll be $55 a month, unlimited data. So you'll be able to upload your videos and everything like you've been doing, even like right now. And I said, that's great. He says, is there anything? I said, I'd love to have some promotional material. I could show people my support for T-Mobile. He didn't come back to me about that, but doesn't mean he won't. I'm not answering any questions about that. Actually, technically, you don't. It's not a requirement for intersex. It's one of those strange things in the medical field. But I'm not going to get into that today. I'm not going to discuss that. We're going to probably have Pop on the show tonight. Yeah, you know what you can say. Daddy, we're going to leave. Don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out. Yeah, we're going to Pop on tonight. Why not, eh? Yeah, he hasn't done anything wrong, guys. Really, he hasn't. So I did tell him that I would have him on the show tonight, and it was on Rachel's stream. So let's see if we can get Pop in the show, because I know you guys find him boring, and sometimes he's good because he fills up the show, and I don't have to worry about trying to come up with content constantly. So let's see. Okay, Ancient Spirits, everybody else. Let's get Pop on here. How about you, Pop? You got a grip. Let's go for it. Oh, but Breaker 19. How about you, Pop? You got a grip. Yeah, let's see if he's on today. I really did want to have him on the show. And because he's good for, filling out the show. And I actually don't mind talking to him once in a while. Okay, he's not there right now. Okay, call me. I am live. There we go. Hi, Pop. How you doing? Hold on a minute. For some reason, I'm not getting any sound. So, let's see. Yeah, guess he wants me to probably call him on my home phone number. Yeah. Okay, you can call my phone at... Give him the number for that. No, I'm not giving it to you guys. You don't need it. Okay. Yeah, you guys don't need it. Yeah, not giving you my phone number. And Jennifer J says hello. That's the whole idea, guys. Yeah. Now, actually, I do want to talk to him about his work. He worked really hard on this video. And I did watch his videos. I know that he's just starting to do them. And he's really, really working hard. No, you know what? We found out something about that. And it's not her. That's all I'm going to tell you. And the individual in question isn't even on this channel. Somebody actually hacked into her account. I'm not going to give his name. He's not even an American. He's not even in this country. So he, no, it's not Pop. I know you guys would love that, wouldn't you? Yeah. Hacked. Like Chainsaw Worth. Texas Massacre. And a big hexa. Oh, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. All right, so let me get Pop in here. Okay, Pop, let's try for again. Let's go for it. Hi, Pop, how you doing? Hold on a minute, let me adjust your volume. It's blowing my ears in.
Oh.
So, how you doing today?
Me, I was very tired, but I feel better now.
By the way, I wanted to tell you, I thought you did a pretty good job on those videos. I don't know why you hid them. I didn't get a chance to see the ones about your dream house. I was going to watch those. But by the time I was going to watch them, they already hit them on me.
Oh no, I republished them. They're back up.
Oh, okay. You really should keep your videos up, even if they're not good. Because you know why? Because it shows that you can always go back and look at them and look at the comments. And people did comment besides me, I'm sure. And I thought you did a pretty good job, especially with some of the videos you did, like the why you're no longer a Christian. I thought that wasn't bad. I just didn't understand why, why this channel is about. A video is 45 minutes long. A rule of thumb is a trailer a channel description should usually be about less than 5 minutes. But that doesn't mean you can't have longer ones. It's just that people
I can do another trailer that's shorter.
Yeah, just basically something simple, and then you can put that as the featured video on your channel like I do. At least you can on the desktop. I don't know if you can do it on the... No, you can't easily do it on the phone, but you can do it on the desktop, though. And so I got to update mine, because mine is out of date. Mine is what's this channel is about.
You said that you had something to ask me.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you was what do you plan to do for your next video?
I'm just gonna leave it up to the creator to guide me.
All right. Okay, that works. Would you mind if I do something similar to your video? Like you said, while you left the Christian church, maybe what I can do is says while you're staying with the Christian church. I mean, not.
It's not. Well, you can if you want to, but it's not. But in a way, you have to admit that you have left the Christian church in a way.
Yeah. Fred Durst, I don't think you really understand much about me at all. And I really don't think you understand. I mean, some of these people today wanted to discuss something on this channel I am not discussing tonight. And I think it's a disgusting topic to bring up, and I'm not even going to even mention it. But just to say that I wanted to get some more constructive content on, and I really did want to give Pop a personal opinion of his videos. I thought they were not bad. I think you were a little nervous in them, but I think that's going to improve once you continue to work on doing videos. You're going to get better. And I can tell you, if you look at my very first videos I ever did, they were not that good either.
Part of the thing is that I'm working to get more allies. So I'm going out on different channels trying to get more support and more allies to work with. Because
Right.
other than you, I need more support.
You know what would be interesting is, would you consider getting sunlight on your channel, at least connecting through Google Hangouts somehow, and so the two of you could talk together? I think that would be very interesting. You and Sunlight.
Well, no, because I don't agree with what she's.
Well, that's what makes it perfect. It's because the fact is you don't agree, and it would be a good way for you two to discuss why you do not like each other's content.
Well, have you realized that she would not want to do that because she's not the type of person who's open to debate. She just wants her opinion and she doesn't even want to debate anyone.
Oh, okay.
But I can't. But I wanted to explain what motivated me to do my. Okay, do you have any questions about my videos or what I've been talking about?
Okay, well, yeah. One question I have is, what, the last one, the big long one, where I didn't get a chance to watch the whole thing because it was 45 minutes long, but I watched most of. What I wanted to know is, what were you hoping to explain to the audience on that long video saying what this channel is about? It seemed like it went on for so long that, I mean, you had a lot of likes, though. You had a lot of likes. People did like it. So I think that's a good thing. You actually do get the support of the community that are watching your videos.
My main problem is staying on topic. So originally the video was meant to be about what the purpose of the channel is, and then I started talking about all the books that I ordered and that I've been reading. So it was more of a book review video.
Mm-hmm.
So it actually turned into a video about the books I've been reading.
Right, I saw that part, yeah.
So it kind of got off topic, but that doesn't mean I need to delete it. I can just do another channel trailer all over again.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You can do another one, and maybe you could even change the first channel or video, rename it to something about some of my books of interest. And like I said, don't worry about it if you go off topic on your channel, because I've done it when I started out too. I didn't actually start out even this good. If you go to the very first video I ever did,
I wanted to say something to you yesterday that you said that offended me very deeply when you had said that some of my beliefs are kind of strange or weird, and that I'm that I'm crazy. That kind of offended me.
Well, I didn't mean to offend you, but you're gonna get that a lot, Pop. You're just gonna get a lot of people saying that, and that's one thing I learned in this job. Sometimes you have to have thick skin, and even if you think it's kind of silly, you'll be surprised how many important sometimes is to, no pun intended. You got to take it. It's just part of the job. It's not.
I have to clarify that I'm not the only one who has my beliefs, and I am in contact with other people that I found online who have the exact same beliefs as me, and I'm building allies who share the same beliefs.
No, that's always good. That's always helpful. Maybe with you and the other guys and gals, you guys can actually maybe even do a video together, or what they call a collaboration, where you guys can share information.
I'm not interested.
Okay. So
it's not meant to be again, I'm not doing this for popularity. I'm doing this just
you're doing this for your own purposes. Yes, I remember I watched that. And I'm just telling you right now is that you're doing good. You're starting out good. You got it. You finally got the first step in the right direction, which is to get yourself in front of your computer and actually do it. And that's the hardest step. I remember when I first started out, I started with an iPhone 3GS, holding it for dear life while I was holding it out stretched out in front of me while my arm is sitting on the laser printer, holding the phone and going, what the hell am I going to talk about? And I did it.
I wanted to ask what your questions were. You said you had questions for me.
Yeah. You're reading some books in Islam, and my question is, how does this tie in with the two different fields of Islam, Sunni and Shiite Muslims? Which one do you think is what's the difference between the two? I guess that's the first question. What's the difference between Sunni and Shiite Muslim people?
I haven't actually looked into that yet. I haven't looked into it.
Okay. Because I know that they hate each other. I'm not really sure why. I don't understand that. But they do. They actually, the Sunni and Shiite Muslims hate each other.
But I just wanted to clarify that I'm not a Muslim.
No, I know. You're not. You explained that in the video. You're not. Yeah. But you said there was things that Jesus did that the Quran mentions that the scriptures don't mention. I know that the apocrypha books of the Bible, such as the Gospel according to Thomas, mentions about Jesus creating life out of clay, and that was true. He did mention that.
Right. Any other questions?
What do you think about Mary Magdalene, or AKA Mary Magdala Valley?
I think I'm absolutely certain that the evidence points out to the fact that Mary Magdalene was actually the wife of Jesus.
Yes, I do know that. I don't think too many people knew that because it's mentioned also briefly in the Gospel according to Mary as well that she is his wife. Wow.
Do you have any questions about do you want to know what inspired me to do the videos, and do you want to know who I was in my past life?
You can certainly talk about the Hi Struggle Cat. How you doing?
So what inspired me was a TV show that I was led to watch called October Faction. And October Faction is about two kids whose parents work for the FBI and hunt down monsters and psychics for a living.
Mm-hmm.
Come to find out, the parents find out that the FBI is involved in some creepy shit. And the FBI has to them. So the parents' lives are in danger. In the meantime, a psychic is able to contact the kids through the spirit realm and using her magic powers. And it turns out that the psychic is their true mother. And I forget her name, but that psychic in October Faction inspired me to make that witch. She was the good witch. Inspired me to make TV show. I want to explain who I am.
What about what the National Security Agency has been doing with remote viewing? And yes, they are experimenting with NDEs and OBE experiences, as well as time travel, as well as the Central Intelligence Agency. What do you think about that?
I will be talking about it. I think that they are getting powerful and they're doing some freaky shit, but they cannot, they will not ever overcome the power of Mother Earth, Mother Gaia, Mother Sophia. They cannot ever be more powerful than the divine source.
Yeah. So what's the difference between the Bulgarian Orthodox Church and the Roman Catholic Church? You mentioned it.
I don't know. They're just the same bullshit.
Okay, so in other words, you don't think there's any difference. So Bulgarian Orthodox is that's not like the Greek Orthodox where you have the econ station and all that.
I think, yeah, no, it is like the Greek Orthodox, but I don't want to talk about Bulgaria. What I want to talk about is that, to me, they're both the same bullshit. They're not any different. And what I wanted to talk about the Marian apparitions in Medjugorje and Our Lady of Fatima. One thing that people need to realize is that the Vatican works with the CIA, and they actually have technology to manufacture these apparitions. And there has been proof that the CIA has been doing experiments in Medjugorje. The CIA is manipulating these apparitions in the Vatican.
Yeah. Well, there is one other piece of information I want to ask you. I don't know if you know about the linear, the Super Hadron linear collider, but they say that they think that they possibly, potentially punched a hole into another dimensional plane.
No, they didn't. Well, in a way they did, but what we need to realize is that, well, the culture collider, it's not dangerous. I don't know a lot about it, but what I will say is this: is that the CIA, a lot of people who claim to have been to heaven or these near-death experiences, some of them are actually fabricated to promote the religious agenda, and the government is using technology to do this. I want to talk about my neighbor who passed away. Her name, I'm going to give up the first letter of her name. Okay, her name was Rhoda. My neighbor Rhoda passed away, and I was doing some channeling, and the message I got from her was that there is actually, hold on. The message that I got from her is that there was actually a government experiment going on inside of my building and in my neighborhood. And that the government is doing some weird shit in my neighborhood. And that's why a lot of people are getting sick from diseases and strange things are happening because the government is doing experiments inside of my building.
All right. Well, I got a non-religious question, but actually, it's kind of religious too. All right. Here's the question. Okay, we have not yet officially met ET some space, but I do know that the question is since ETs, as far as we know, are created by God, will they be able to receive communion? I know that sounds silly, but the Catholic Church has actually debated that about 2005, I think, was it 2000? They were debating if ETs should be able to receive the body and blood of Christ.
I don't know. But what I will say this is that I was doing some channeling years ago towards the Galactic Federation of Light or the Galactic United Nations, and in my channeling, I was selected to be one of the ambassadors of the Galactic Federation of Light. Speaking of this, I work for the CIA. I work for the Galactic Intelligence Agency, and I actually have secret information that no one even knows that I cannot share with anyone under oath. I cannot share some of the information I have very secret information about what's going on in the universe, in the world, that I received in my notebooks from the Galactic Federation and the Galactic Intelligence Agency. And this, I know things that no one even knows. And I cannot say all of it, but there is some information that I've been called to give to the public. Now, when the great event happens, and when the galactic spaceships arrive, and when the great event happens, I will be one of the people actually assisting human beings. And I was already pre-chosen to be one of the ambassadors of the Federation to help out when the ETs do arrive. I've been chosen by them. And I've been inside of their spaceships in my dreams.
Okay. All right. So I guess the next question is if the ETs are out there, and we have seen some fast radio bursts or FRBs, which seem to be, I know this is way out of your league, Pop, but I'm going to try to tie it into your subjects in a minute. The fast radio bursts, they're finding some that are actually apparently are almost in perfect time, as an imply that they are being artificially generated. If there are ETs out there, will we ever meet them? Now, this is where you can ask your Federation Light. Where are they?
The ETs are now. Do you know a man by the name of David Icke?
Okay, yeah, I know David Icke.
Some of the ETs are already here, and they have been working with the dark powers to control humanity and to suppress us.
Yeah. And there's another guy there that's, shoot, what's his name? I keep forgetting his name.
I wanted to explain to us is that the Galactic Federation of Light wants to assist humanity. The problem is that something keeps stopping them from accessing us because someone or something is trying to prevent the good, the positive aliens to help us. But I wanted to explain about the word amen. When all the religions say amen,
I know the person I was thinking about, David Wilcock. Do you know anything about David Wilcock?
No, but I wanted to explain something about the word amen. What the religions don't realize is when you say the word amen, we are worshiping a group of entities known as I think the amens or the amens, and the amens were actually some of the original entities that are positive and that have come to assist Earth. So whenever you say amen, you're giving tribute to the positive entities that are here to assist us.
Yeah. I mean, there's like I said, I mean, it's just, there's so many things out there we don't know. I just
wanted to explain where all of this gets scary. You mentioned a woman named Sunlight.
Yeah.
I received some information that she is actually part of a mind control experiment and that she's going insane and claiming all these crazy things because the government is is using the technology. She's one of the experiments. Allison Thomas is another government experiment where they're playing with her mind. And the voices and a lot of the people on YouTube claim to be prophets or visionaries or whatever. A lot of them are part of government experiments.
All right. Well, let me ask you a question back to something you're more familiar with, and that's related to sunlight. What do you think? What do you think Allison Thomas thinks of the content that Sunlight talks about? Obviously, she's not here, so
I don't want to talk about it because some of these people can get viral.
Yeah.
Some of these people can get viral. I'd rather not mention their name. I don't want to face lawsuits.
Yeah. I mean,
but we can't talk about it. But what I am going to say is this. So, okay, as far as I am, do you want to know about me? Not about my personal life, but more about my purpose and my mission and my channel. Is there any questions you have about that and my past lives?
All right. Well, here's the question I'm going to ask the audience about the topic we're discussing. Does anybody have any questions for Martin on the topic we're discussing? Only that topic, nothing else. If you have any questions to Martin on the topic we're discussing, bring them up.
I wanted to explain about my past lives and who I am. Is that in my past life, I was one of the people that was killed during the time of the Inquisition by the Roman Catholic Church. I was one of the people accused of being a wizard, and I was killed by the Roman Catholic.
Hi, Bridget. How you doing? I'm just saying hello to Bridget.
Did you even hear what I
said? Sort of. I'm trying to adjust the volume so it's not too distorted. Okay, go ahead.
All my past lives, I was one of the people that was killed by the church because I was accused of being a wizard, and I'm one of the people. Me and my family were all killed in my life because I was accused of being a wizard by the Catholic Church, and they killed me in my past life.
Well, let me answer a question for Bridget real quick. I'm gonna actually turn on my keyboard so I can type to people too.
So, what if my past life doesn't interest you? I'm not about it.
I'm not sure how to type. This doesn't work the way it does in my. Oh, I got it. I got it. I am doing fine. I just happened to be typing here. I am doing okay. My knee is okay. Today we have Pop on, and we are talking about his new videos, EOS, on his channel. Oh, I hate when that tip screwy on his channel. Okay, so I just typed this just so she know I said hi. Now, you know, I heard you go click. Yes, I was typing that. But anyway, I just typed it because I wanted to make sure that you could hear me because right now I want to focus on you. All right, so you were actually considered a sorcerer or wizard, and so you kind of were treated pretty badly in your prior life.
Yeah, and in my other prior life, I was Jew. In one of my other private lives, I was Jewish, and I was actually killed in one of the Nazi concentration camps because I was Jewish.
Okay.
No, sorry, I made a mistake. I was half Jewish and half Gypsy, and both Gypsies and Jews were persecuted. So I was killed because I was a Jew and because I was a Gypsy, and I was persecuted for my faith in another past life.
Okay, so which concentration camp? The main one in Poland or the one in Germany?
Well, it was another one in Germany. It wasn't Auschwitz. It was another one. It was called, I think, Ravensbrück or something. And one of the German ones. Yeah. I was actually killed.
All right. Now let me ask you a question about the gypsy groups in the Bulgaria. I want to just cover that too. What do you think?
I don't want to talk about my country.
Okay, you want to talk about the Roma. I just want to explain for people who don't know who the Roma is. The Roma actually have a long story. They've been in Europe for a long, long time. And they are considered, in some ways, to be the original vagabond travelers. They originally were from India, believe it or not. And they came over into, at the time of the...
Well, there's actually debate about that because some of the Roma actually believe that they were from Egypt originally. So there's debate whether they were from India or from Egypt or from both. Right. So we're not sure. And I do have some Roma in my DNA, and I do appreciate my Roma heritage. Right.
Well, the studying of the language sounds like it was actually based on Sanskrit originally, the Roma language.
Right.
The Romani language is based on Sanskrit, which is it originally was a dialect in India. So, and they originally were part of the Indian culture, but India at one time wasn't as organized as today.
Well, do you know Roma people are still persecuted in India to this day?
Yeah, really? Wow.
It's treated like lower class citizens to this day.
Yeah. I was just going to type the bridge again. Yeah. PRID. Oh, I keep typing this one. So am I. Leg still is a little.
I wanted to explain to you. I want to talk about spirit guides for a second.
What's that?
I wanted to explain that, Michael. Okay, I want to talk about spirit guides for a second, and I want to explain to you who my spirit guide is.
Yeah.
And Michael has this to say is that Michael Jackson is not my main spirit or my only. He's one of my spirit guides, but he's not my main spirit guide.
Yeah, I know, Bridget. I was typing so Pop could focus on his thoughts and not feel like I'm interrupting him. That's the reason. So, okay, go on.
But my main spirit guide is not anyone. It's actually me. Your true spirit guide is actually your higher self. So that's one thing people need to understand about spirit guides is that it's actually your higher self.
Which brings the question is, how do you find your spirit guide? Because
it's you. It's you.
Yeah, I believe that could be possibly true, but that's not the question. Like for a person just starting out, how do they find their spirit guide? How do they meet them?
You connect to your higher self.
Okay. So you just got to keep your mind open and see if your spirit guide will speak to you.
Or sometimes you need to realize that they are already speaking to you, but the problem is that you've been ignoring them.
First of all, that's not really me typing, so I don't know why that fake one is typing that.
Remember that I can't see the comments because I'm not.
Oh, don't worry, Pop. You don't want to see them. They're just totally incendiary. They're just not worth saying. Except for the occasional hellos, and they're okay.
But I want to explain that I am God and you are God, because if you trace I believe that I am God and that most humans are God, because if you trace your DNA back towards your higher self, you are leading back to God. God is actually just a version of your higher self, of each and every person's higher self. So what we need to stop doing is worshiping other entities like Yahweh, like Buddha, and we need to realize that the source is actually inside of us and that we are the gods and the goddesses.
Trust me, Boston, Bridget, that's not me typing that right there. I'm not that kind of person, and I'm not even going to talk about that topic. It is disgusting. You're right, it is gross, and I'm not covering that. So, okay, go ahead, Pop. I'm just trying to answer something on the questions here.
I already said what I had to say. Did you even listen?
Okay.
What did I say?
What happens to you when you finally go home? When you finally return to...
You don't go home. That's the thing that people need to understand, is that the so-called other side is actually a cult.
Well, I know that I've heard that it's more like a way station. It's not permanent.
Here's a question. Did you hear what I said earlier about who God is and who humans are? Or were you listening?
I gotta take care of somebody who's basically having a habit of actually getting on my nerves. Just give me a second, Pop. Yeah, I know what to do with this person. Bye-bye. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. Funk. Okay, cool. All right. No. I just wanted to deal with one of the incendiary people that are trying to create problems on my channel and upsetting my actual subs.
Michelle, did you even hear what I said earlier?
No, I didn't. I was waiting for the computer to get done doing its job. Know what you were saying?
First of all, I want to... I hate repeating myself, first of all. I just really hate repeating myself. I hate it.
Okay.
I really hate repeating myself.
Oh, I know. I hate having to repeat myself with the mouse repeatedly, telling the mouse to get the fucking job done. That's what I hate doing. So I understand when you say but repeat yourself.
You hear what I said about God?
Yeah. All right, so you see the other side as a temporary place. You don't see it as a permanent place.
You hear what I said before that, who God is, or no? Did you hear that?
I'm getting tired of some of these people. I think it's time to seriously play whack-a-troll. Man, thank God, Papa, it's not you. Some of these people, Papa, is just disgusting. It's time to send them some locking papers. You talk about like wanting to repeat yourself, but some of these guys are just repeating themselves repeatedly. All right, so I dealt with Whack Control. I got one guy, two guys. So, two of the biggest noisy troublemakers on the channel. So anyway, so just simple yes or no. The other side is not a permanent staging ground.
Or I can talk about that. I needed to talk about God. And did you even hear what I had to say, or do I have to repeat it?
I'm listening now.
Okay, I wanted to explain who God is and who your spirit guides are. First of all, your spirit guides are not meant to be other entities, stuff like that. Your main spirit guide is actually you. It's just a higher version of you.
Okay.
In terms of God, God is also you. Because if you trace back each and every human soul, the soul goes back to the God soul. So God actually has 7 billion personalities, which is each and every human is just an aspect of God. And you are God. And what I need humans to realize is that you need to stop worshiping these entities like Yahweh, like Buddha, like all these religious entities, like the God of the Bible, because you are God and God is inside of you, and you are living gods and goddesses.
Okay, well, my next question is, okay, so your spirit guide is your higher self. Then,
but you can have other spirit guides that are other spirits as well. But your main spirit guide is actually your higher self. And I want to explain about Lumi is that Lumi is not actually another entity. Lumi is actually your higher self. Lumi is just an aspect of your higher self. If you trace her way back, it's actually you.
Your connection is garbly right now. For some reason, you're having a bad bandwidth on your connection.
Can you hear me?
Sort of. When you don't sound like you sound like the bottom of a kettle drum. I don't know, sometimes you do sound like that.
So what was your question?
Okay. Okay, so the question is what, in your opinion, is the other side?
Do you want my opinion or do you want my experience?
Well, whichever one you prefer to give.
I'm gonna give you my experience. Okay, I'm gonna do both. Originally, I thought that the other side was a place that each and every human goes when they die. When that's not the case. Now, I wanted to explain that there's multiple other sides. It's not just one. And each and every religious leader has their own version of the other side. So Yahweh has his other side. Buddha has his other side. But the true other side that's best for you to get to is your higher self. I want to explain that the other side that currently a lot of people go to is actually a cult.
Okay. So where do all the souls come from that God makes? I guess that's another question because we know God makes the souls. But how many souls does he have made?
Michelle, you clearly misunderstood everything I've said. What's the point of me even talking?
I might be having problems hearing you right now, but it's not your fault, Pop. Go on.
God doesn't make souls. First of all, I don't like to use the term God. I like to use the term source. Source does not make souls. We actually are God. We're all one big soul, split into seven billion, or however many people there are, split into all those smaller souls. But we are God, just split into different people. But our soul all leads back to the source. So we're not actually separate. We are connected to God. We are God.
Okay. So you're saying source doesn't make souls, but where did the souls come from?
I just explained that to you. Were you listening?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Why are you making me repeat myself so many times? Hello? Michelle.
I'm listening. What are you wrestling over there? You're wrestling something. What are you wrestling?
Why are you making me repeat myself so many times?
Okay.
It's a question. Are you even going to answer my question?
All right, what's the question?
Why are you making me repeat myself so many times?
Because sometimes I'm getting distracted trying to do with the whack controls. I see Rachel is helping out here.
What's the point? Here's another question. What's the point of me answering your questions if every time I try to answer, you just get distracted and you don't even hear the answer?
I'm trying to answer because I'm curious. I'm really curious to know your answers. I just, like I said, I figured it'd be better. That'd be a good topic for tonight. And given the number of likes on the channel, I'm seeing we got 5 viewers right now, 7 likes. People are actually watching the show. They're actually engaging. I'm actually looking at this and saying, this is your time when you
Michelle, what is your question? I want to hear your question.
Okay. All right, let's talk about one more question. When we do wrong to another person, do you believe that people can receive forgiveness for their mistakes of causing harm to another person?
That depends on the other person.
So it's up to them, it's not up to God. Because, I mean, as a Catholic, we believe that, you can, yes, you need to apologize to the other person if possible, but if you do a sin, especially a sin against God, you can get forgiveness for your sin.
First of all, I hate using the term God. It's very disrespectful. I prefer using the term source. I don't like using the term God. I like using the term source.
Right.
Now, are you talking about this life or the afterlife?
I mean, like in the Catholic Church, we can go and receive absolution for our sins.
Are you asking me about this life or the afterlife?
Because I'm trying to see if I understand how your faith system compares to my faith system.
You're asking me about this life or the afterlife?
Yeah.
I'm trying to ask you a question. Can you even listen?
All right, what's the question?
My question is, are you asking me about this life or about the afterlife?
Well, the reason I'm asking questions is I'm trying to get to understand your faith system so I can understand it better.
I'm not sure if you're asking me about the physical or the afterlife. Which question, which life are you asking me about?
Mm-hmm. Okay, does anybody have any questions? I'm running out of questions.
I'm trying to answer, but I'm not listening. Are you asking me about the physical life or the afterlife?
Time to retreat to the echo chamber. I don't know what that means, but yeah, there is a bit of an echo with Pop's background for some reason. I think there's something wrong with his Wi-Fi because it's distorting a little bit. Let me see if I can fix that. Is the volume level? I don't think it's the volume level. I'll just check and see if I can turn it up a little bit. See if we can turn up on the board here and turn the gain down. Okay. So, anybody got any questions for Pop? This is your time.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
I want a chance to answer your questions first.
Okay.
My question to you is this. When you ask about forgiveness, were you asking me about this life or the afterlife?
Mm-hmm. Right, the afterlife, yeah.
Which one are you asking me about?
I mean, the reason I asked about the afterlife is because in the Catholic...
Oh, I'm asking you if you're asking me about this life or the afterlife. Which one were you asking about?
I'm asking about this life because I want to know. Okay, first of all, do you believe that we have an afterlife where we can come back again?
Yes.
Okay. And do you believe that you said to me one time that we partially write our own life charts before we come here, but we keep working on them after we get here?
Yes.
Okay. And we work with our higher selves to make sure that we don't paint ourselves into a corner, so to speak.
Pardon?
Or at least if we're listening to the other higher selves. Yeah, that's what our job is. And we try to make sure not to paint you guys into a corner. But because of free will, you guys have the ability to paint yourselves into a corner. Right. Anybody get any questions in the audience? Anyone? Come on, guys. I'm not always that good at coming up with questions on the fly. Now, oh, well, let's see. I think we just went to Pop on the phone. Okay, go ahead, Pop.
Hello, can you hear me better now?
Oh, yeah. Now I can hear you way better. Sorry about that.
So, my question is this. Are you asking me about this life or the afterlife?
Asking about both. Originally, it was about the afterlife.
Okay, let me explain what I believe. In this life, it's up to the other person to forgive us.
Okay.
In the afterlife, first of all, what we need to understand is that there's more than one heaven. That the so-called God of the Bible has his own heaven, known as the other side, and known as heaven. But what we need to realize is that the God of the Bible has his own heaven, but that's not necessarily the real other side, but it's a fake other side that he controls. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of like a dictatorship where the God of the Bible controls his own version of heaven, and anyone who disagrees with him is punished. And you're forced into the reincarnation system, right?
Okay. So you say that the afterlife, it comes in different subdivisions, if you will. There's the other side is just one of many.
Well, it's huge. It's huge.
Yeah, I know it's huge.
But here's what I need you to understand is that when you listen to the Christian near-death experiences, spiritual people go to hell. People who meditate and who practice Buddhism go to hell. Why is that? Because in the Christian religion, in their version of the other side, God is very jealous of anyone who has spiritual powers, and he basically sends the people who have spiritual powers to hell in their religion because he views them as a threat, and he wants full control of his kingdom. So even if you attend Catholic Mass and if you are forgiven for all your sins and you do go to heaven, what you need to remember is that the so-called heaven you're going to is only a dictatorship and controlled by the Christian God. And it's not necessarily the real paradise that the true source resides in.
So you're saying is that the Christian God is kind of misleading some people?
Yes. But what you need to realize is this, is if you look at all the people that go to heaven, according to Christianity, is that they're all very, very weak spiritually. According to Christianity, anyone who meditates, Buddhist people, Hindus, anyone who disagrees with Christianity goes to hell. Why is that? Because they only want the spiritually weak slaves to be in their kingdom. They don't want the true leader. They don't want any leaders or any true powerful spirits in heaven. They only want the obedient slaves.
Okay. So basically, in short, is that God has a plan. I'm talking about the Christian God. He has a plan. People have to do, and obviously, He can determine where you're going to go, either into heaven, aka His. How does it work though? Because I'm trying to figure that out.
Here's the thing I'm going to tell you. Let's say that you attend communion, you attend mass, and you attend confession, and you do everything right, and you end up going to heaven. Mm-hmm. Well, congratulations, but don't you realize that you basically made yourself, if you do go to heaven, you basically made yourself a slave, and you've signed up to go to the Christian God's dictatorship, where He's going to tell you how to live, where it's going to be His perfect little paradise. And you and anyone who's more spiritually powerful or anyone who chooses another religion, He will kick out of His paradise immediately and send them to and burn their soul. Is that really? Doesn't that sound like a cult?
Mm-hmm. Do you believe in predestination like John Calvin did?
What's that?
That God determines before you even have a chance to sin or not to sin that you're going to go to heaven or hell.
Well, in a sense, no, because you have free will. But in a sense, yes, because, God doesn't determine if you're going to sin or not sin. That's your choice. But what the Bible God determines is, if you're spiritually powerful, you're already destined to go to hell in their books. If you're spiritually weak, you're already destined to go to heaven because you're not a threat. Why do we hear so many near-death experiences where people say they saw atheists in heaven? I'll tell you why. Because atheists have no spiritual powers and atheists are not a threat. So as long as you're not a threat, you're already destined to go to this heaven. But anyone who's a wizard, who meditates, who has some spiritual powers, a warlock, a pagan, we, the spiritual people, are a threat. So we're already predestined that this Christian God does not want us in His heaven because he's jealous of us and he views us, the spiritual workers, as a threat.
So you're saying okay? So basically. All right, so now, according to the Christian God's approach, you're saying is He wants us to do things a certain way, and if we don't, we're going to face punishment for not following His will. But according to St. Augustine, he says we have free will. And I know that St. Augustine on his Discourse of the Free Will, I know he basically...
We do have free will. And the free will is this. You can choose to be a slave. And what the Christian God, when the Christian God says you have free will, what He's basically telling you is that you have the freedom to worship Him and to keep your mouth shut your whole life and to go to His perfect little kingdom. Or you have the option to not be Christian, to evolve your own spiritual powers, and then to go to His hell. So what free will is not really free. All it means is that you have the option to be a slave to God or not to be a slave to God.
Okay.
If you look at the Bible, when God did Exodus, He got so jealous of the Egyptians that they chose to worship other gods that He killed all the firstborn sons, and He got so jealous. Tell me, would a good, loving entity really kill all the firstborn sons and put these terrible diseases on the people? Or does that sound like a hateful, jealous dictator?
Yeah, I remember this from the book of, I think it was Genesis. It was Exodus.
A few days ago.
All right, which goes as follows. He told through Moses to free his people. And the Pharaoh said, nope, not going to do it. So he sent down a series of nasty surprises. And the one that we all talk about is the Passat, or which is the Passover, which he said, I am going to kill all the firstborn sons except on the houses that have blood of an unblemished lamb over the door. That's what is called the Passover or the Passat. This was how he could identify those that truly accepted him as their God. Now, of course, the Egyptians didn't do that, so they ended up basically losing their children. But in addition to that, don't forget the Red Sea. When God parted the Red Sea so that the Israelis could cross over safely and quickly, but the Pharaoh and his troops drowned in the Red Sea. When God basically put the water back in the Red Sea. And then don't forget, this is under Moses now. So everything was happening in Exodus, but because of Moses' transgressions in the past, he and his people had to wander around in the desert for 40 years. Because of Moses' actions. And I always thought that was...
Here's my question.
What's that?
We were talking about sociopathy and psychopathy a few days ago. Here's my question. Doesn't the biblical God sound and meet the description of a psychopath and a sociopath?
I don't know. I don't know how you can psychoanalyze God. I don't know how you would call him, but I definitely would say in the Old Testament he was a bit of a bully. Actually, if I wanted to be honest, he was a bully.
Here's my question.
To those who did not trust him.
Here's my question. Have you realized that God is still a bully? Because if you listen to all the near-death experiences that a lot of Christians have, the main message is this. You either shut your mouth and worship Christianity, or you're going to burn in hell. That's the message that people are getting. That if you don't worship Christianity and God and shut your mouth, you're going to go to hell. And here's my question is, what doesn't that sound like a bully and a cult leader telling people they're going to go to hell if they don't submit to his authority?
What's that now? I'm just trying to justify it here. All right, go ahead.
My question to you is this: why would you want to worship? And here it's related. If you look at the New Testament, all the Christians that have near-death experiences, they basically say that the main message they get is this: you either worship God and worship Christianity and keep your mouth shut, or you're going to burn in hell. And if you even try to read about another religion or to do anything, any form of magic or meditation, you're going to be burned alive. Doesn't that sound, God is still doing this? Doesn't that sound like what a cult leader would do?
Well, I know Jesus didn't personally teach some of that, but I do know that St. Paul did.
Michelle, I'm talking about on YouTube. If you listen to a lot of the Christian near-death experiences on YouTube, what they say is that if you don't worship God and if you don't submit to his authority and if you and keep your mouth quiet, that you will basically burn in hell. There's hundreds of videos of people having these stories that they went to hell, or they were warned that anyone who doesn't listen to Christianity will go to hell. Now, why is God giving these, if the biblical God is such a good guy, why is he giving this message to people?
Well, I guess it kind of goes back to what he said in the different books of the Old Testament, especially when we read what he said in the Ten Commandments, the very first one. He said, I am the God that rescued you from captivity and led you from Egypt. I am a jealous God, meaning obviously there must be more than one. Thou shalt not have any other gods before me.
Here's my question. Why would you want to worship a jealous God? Don't you?
That's a good question. Why would you want to worship a jealous God? Why would you want to worship a jealous girlfriend, for that matter? And why do people say that they fear God?
Here's my opinion. The reason that so many people are converting to Christianity and Islam and all these big religions is because deep down on the inside, they're scared. They're scared that if they don't submit to religion, that they're basically going to burn in hell for the rest of their eternity. Millions of people to their knees, that if they don't worship religion or submit to the religious ways, that their souls are basically going to be tortured for the rest of eternity. And that's why they choose to follow religion, because they're scared.
Oh, don't worry. Yes, I did read your DM on Discord, and we're not discussing that today.
Michelle, did you even hear what I just said, or are you just not even listening?
I was listening to you, Pop.
So what did I say?
You said that it's either that you have to worship God as He tells you, or you are going to be in trouble.
Right, and why are a lot of people submitting to religion?
People are sick of seeing a religion because it's been teaching the same old diatribe for the past 2,000 years.
Here's the other thing. Have you realized that a lot of people are converting to religion and are staying in religion because they're scared that if they don't keep their mouth shut and if they don't worship religion, that their souls are going to be tortured in hell for the rest of eternity? Have you realized that fear is the main factor of why people are remaining in Christianity?
Well, that's the thing that bothers me, because when you think of God, especially when you're listening to Jesus, Jesus is trying to say, if you repent of your sins, you will have a place in paradise, just like He told the good thief, right? Or the good murderer. I think it was a murderer, but that's not the point. And yet the bad guy who is mocking Jesus is kind of being kind of told that he's going to go in a bad place. Yet you listen to so many people talking today about Christianity, saying that Jesus has come to redeem you with His precious blood by His sacrifice. And yet, why would God want a young 33-year-old man?
Yeah, that's my question. Why does God even need a sacrifice in the first place? Why would a loving God need to drink blood? That's just ridiculous.
Right. I mean, just like prior to the Old Testament, and they were doing the Passover and they were sacrificing all the animals in the temple. Why do you have to sacrifice God's loving life that He creates? What's the point of doing that?
Okay, Michelle, here's where it gets interesting. What if I told you that I've channeled the true Creator? And what if I told you that the biblical God has nothing to do with the true Creator? How do you think that the true Creator feels about all the bullshit that the biblical God has been doing and how He's been bullying people for hundreds of years, thousands of years? How do you think the true Creator feels about what the biblical God has done?
Well, that's a good question. How does he or she feel?
Oh, I'm going to leave it at this. That basically, it's kind of like your channel. It's kind of like the fake Michelle. The fake God has basically destroyed the true God, the true Creator's reputation, and the fake God has managed to destroy the true Creator's reputation, and it's the true God, the true Creator doesn't even know what to do anymore because they feel so terrible after everything this demon has put them through.
Well, doesn't He simply wipe out the fake God? I mean, if he's omnipotent and omnipresent and He's powerful, why doesn't He just wipe out the fake one? Why doesn't He do like I do with the trolls? Why doesn't He just go poof?
Because the true Creator is not all powerful, and it's not all potent. the true creator is not that powerful, and it is not even hungry for power. What we need to realize is that.
So there's a person on the gods, but the true creator himself is basically not super powerful, but he's getting frustrated because the fake god is scaring everybody into submission.
Now, I want to explain why the true creator is not that powerful.
Right.
And it's because he made a deal with his wife, Earth, Mother Gaia, the divine goddess, the divine feminine energy. He made a deal that he or the creator, would create humans to live on Earth.
Right. Mother Gaia, of course, is also known as Mother Earth. Mother Nature is, of course, the Earth.
But listen, humans have souls. And one thing we need to realize is that our souls are just an extension of God's soul.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the true message of sacrifice. It's not what the biblical God was teaching people, that we need to sacrifice to God, but rather it's like God used to be so powerful, and he basically gave up most of his power in order to let humans have souls. So our souls are just an extension of God, because he gave up most of his powers to us humans. The problem is that the demonics and the religious leaders and the biblical God and the Muslim God, all these religions went ahead and did everything possible to destroy the knowledge so that humans didn't know how to use their powers. So basically, we're stuck in a situation where the creator has given up most of their powers to humans, but humans don't even know how to use the powers anymore. So now we're basically left powerless unless we wake up, because God doesn't have the powers because he's given them to us, but we don't even know how to use them. So it's
so what is the powers? What powers do we now possess?
Well, that's the problem, is that it's been suppressed from us. A lot of it is what Abraham talked about, Abraham Hicks, is that we are creators. We can use the law of attraction. We have a lot of powers that are being suppressed from us. But here's one thing that I want to explain about Satan.
Okay.
That I got a message from the true creator about Satan, is that the biblical God and Satan actually had a backhand deal, that they secretly work together and they're just pretending to be enemies so that they can deceive humanity. And it's kind of like the Republicans and Democrats. It's like a rigged election.
Right.
So Satan and God are putting on this huge act that they hate each other, but in reality, they're working together in this game.
Right. In my faith system, Satan is the brother of God. So
what the creator has told me is that Satan and God are secretly working together, and they're just pretending to be enemies in order to force people or scare people into converting into Christianity.
Anton LaVey said that the Christian church was one of the best friends of Satan. Then Satan actually benefited from the Christian church, which is interesting to think about when you think about it. Because if it wasn't for the Christian church, Satan would never have had the power that he has. We have given Satan the power as the Satan. He has...
So here's my question. Why is Satan getting all the credit for being evil, when if you look at history, the biblical God is actually just as evil? And what we need to realize is that they're both working together. Have you ever wondered why a lot of Christians have demonic experiences? It's because the demons are out there trying to scare people into converting to Christianity. So basically, Lucifer and his demons are scaring people.
So then who are the demons working for then?
God.
Okay, so the demons are working for God. God and Satan
are also works for God. Lucifer works for well, okay, when I say God, I'm not talking about the true God. I'm talking about the Bible God.
Right, I know which one you're talking about, the Christian God, right? We know that the Christian God and Satan are brothers. We know that it's almost like they're working on a social experiment. And it seems like even though the Christian churches are sitting there and thumping in their pulpits and saying God's evil, Satan's evil, God is good, God is great, God is fantastic, Satan's the double liar, deceiver, cheater, backstabber, good for nothing screw up, which smells bad and has a forked tail and looks like it has a head of a goat. The truth is, the saying is that the two are drinking coffee together in the break room and actually kind of scheming a plan, but for why?
Because they're greedy. But in their currency, money has no value. What they're greedy for is souls. What they want is God's soul. Humanity represents the souls of the original creator. And what Satan and the Bible God both want is to eat the human souls and to control the human souls.
Right.
And right, because they want our souls. And what Catholics need to realize is that yes, you might be going to heaven. Congratulations, because the heaven you're going to is not a true heaven. It's a center where these entities are going to be leeching your soul. And you're going to think that you're in heaven, but in reality, you're in a dictatorship.
Mm-hmm. So either way you look at it, if you look at it from the Christian's perspective, it really shouldn't matter if you're going to heaven or hell because it's not really your choice.
Right. But here is the good news. The good news is that this false God has no true powers to send you to hell or heaven, and that we have given our powers away at the moment of baptism. But we can get our powers back by rejecting and by deprogramming ourselves from the religious dogmas. Mm-hmm. We can get our powers back so that we can actually go to meet the real creator and return to the real source of life.
Well, I know that Robert A. Heinlein and oh my God, Stranger in Strange Land. Michael, the character Michael, he was a Martian guy. He was going through the Bible. I think he called himself Celine, by the way. No, not this guy on the channel here, but somebody else. And he said, "We are God. We are God. We eat God at the communion of the Catholic Mass, but we are God. God is in us." Robert E. Heinlein was very, very much for that idea that we are God, which sounds a lot like Abraham Hicks, doesn't it? I mean, it's like...
It does.
Yes, I read that. I thought that was fascinating. I looked into it, and I could see why. Because like he said to one of his characters in the book, he says, "Why do you eat God at Mass when God is already in you?"
Now, I wanted to explain something else. Is that, okay, a lot of people think that, okay, if people are saying that we are God, a lot of people think that promotes narcissism and that promotes egoism, because then every single human is going to be saying that we're God. But that's not the case. Have you realized that narcissism and greed is actually caused by a feeling of lack? Mm-hmm. And a feeling of being inadequate. But once you realize that you are God and you connect to your divine self, then you're not even going to be that greedy for money or for material things or for power or for fame. Because guess what? You're already God and you don't need all those fancy things. So this knowledge actually has the power to empower, people and to make them less materialistic and less narcissistic. Because guess what? When all the narcissists in the world find out that they are God, and if all the narcissists in the world connected to the true creator and to their divine selves, they would realize that they no longer need to be narcissists because they don't need all the material things and all the fame. They don't need it because God, they already are divine.
Mm-hmm.
So this knowledge, first of all, it's not only religion that doesn't want this knowledge out. It's also all the companies and all the clothing brands and the celebrities. They don't want this information out because if people find out that they're divine and that God lives inside of them, and if every single human found out that they were God and they connected to their divine self, guess what? All the large clothing brands would go bankrupt. The advertising industry would go bankrupt, and
all right,
people would become less greedy.
So how do you find out what your abilities or your powers are that were given by the true God to you? How do you find them? How do you discover them? And how does that tie in with my job as a North American Snow Queen, United States, Canada, United Kingdom, and Ireland?
Well, that's part of it. The biblical God would definitely not want you to know that you are the Snow Queen. The biblical God would suppress everything that you are the Snow Queen, but the true Creator wants you to be empowered and to know that, for example, your powers are being the Snow Queen.
Right. So what exactly are my powers according to the true God?
Well, you have the power to write your destiny. You have the power you have the power to have as much money in the world as you want, and as many relationships as you want, and as many friends as you want.
Mm-hmm.
But now that you can have it, now that you know you can have it, guess what? People will no longer want it if they just know they can have it. Right.
Now, so basically, you're saying is that I have the powers. I can be anything I want.
But it's not that easy. It takes a lot of effort, and it takes putting in the spiritual work. But I'm going to give you a heads up. Between praying on your knees or praying to the biblical God, begging him to help you, and between focusing on your divine power and using the tools of Abraham Hicks and all of that, the second option is definitely much more effective in terms of getting your prayers answered.
I don't know where it says the Snow Queen uses a fucking weather map. We have the same power rates in our phones. Well, who says that I don't have the right to use the power granted by science to help me do my job? And yeah,
you do.
And then no one God didn't say that. You can't say. No, by the way, it brings up another topic which we'll bring into, which is Gnosticism. As you know, Gnostics, not agnostics, Gnostics, believe that all knowledge or the pursuit of all knowing, that's what Gnosticism is, which was originally debunked at the time of the Council of Nicaea. Believe that God is in us and that we are gods in our own right because we have been given free knowledge of the true God.
Yes.
Okay, which I happen to be a Gnostic also. So we just there is some similarities.
I wanted to correct you. It's not that we're God. I have a hard time wording this, but it's not that we're God, but it's that God has submitted all of their powers to us. So we're just humans, but we have all of God's power because God gave up his power to humanity. The problem is that our powers are suppressed. That's the problem. Right.
Right. So, okay. So like I said, now, obviously a person who's coming onto this show and watching this and saying, all right, how do they find out their powers? I'm just talking about from the average everyday person, how do you find their skills? How do you find out what your abilities are? I mean, there's got to be something, a way they can find out besides obviously prayer. Because we know if he plays the Christian God, he's probably only going to do you a small subset of what you really can do. But if you want to pray to the true God, the real God,
First of all, I don't like to use the word God. I prefer using the word source or creator or Abba. I like Abba or source or creator.
Okay, Abba or daddy. Okay, daddy works.
No, not daddy, because that's going to lead to nasty jokes. I prefer to use source or creator.
Okay.
Right.
Because we don't even know if the true God necessarily is male or female.
Well, it's actually female. Well, it's more female than male.
Okay. And of course, we know that Gaia or Gaia is his or her partner and provides the earth that we live on.
Right.
That always springs forth from.
Right.
And like I asked you about the ETs, because I do wonder, are they also part, or did they also come from the source?
Well, that's the exact thing, is that you need to realize that the ETs don't all fall into one category.
No, I know they don't.
There's there's three different categories. There's the ETs who are in it to help humanity and who are working with the Creator.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's the ETs that are in it for themselves. And then there's the ETs that are working with the biblical God and the biblical Satan in order to help push the reptilian agenda.
All right. This would probably be things like the Anunnaki and the Greys.
Oh, yes. And right.
Okay. Because I do know some Anunnaki are working with the divine true God source to help us to become stronger. But even though the original Anunnaki, which came from Nibiru, came here to try to have human beings mine gold for them, according to ancient Sumerian history, religious texts. They said that the Anunnaki came to Earth and created humanity to mine gold for their planet, Nibiru. For some reason, they needed it for their atmosphere. Very interesting.
Right.
So it seems like there's two different groups of Anunnaki here.
But I want to also talk. Right. That's another thing that I want to talk about, is that some of the negative ETs or some of the negative entities, actually, we don't have to hate all of them, because actually some of them do have the choice to come back to the true Creator and to apologize for their ways.
Right.
And that's my main problem with Christianity. If we're here's two different belief systems. In Christianity, the main belief is that once Satan fell from heaven, or once demon fell from heaven, they have no way of apologizing. In my belief system, demons and fallen entities actually still have the opportunity to apologize and to come back. And even the Creator still loves all of them and wants to forgive them if only they're going to come back.
All right.
Right.
Well, I'll tell you what. It's 1:33. I mean, 1 hour 33.
I have to go.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you for coming on the show. I want to continue this talk sometime next week.
I do want to add on something, that leaving a religion is not an easy choice, especially for someone like you or me, because I've dedicated my whole life to Christianity, and so have you. And after so many years of dedication, it's hard to just leave, because we've both invested so much into this religion.
Oh, right. That's absolutely true, yeah.
But just because you've done something your whole life doesn't necessarily mean that you have to keep doing it if you don't want to.
Right. But sometimes it's like you said, it's hard, especially when you got families that are Christians. And
Michelle, I have to go.
All right, I know. Okay. Thank you very much, Pop. I appreciate you being on the show. It was nice to having a conversation today that we both actually kind of enjoyed.
Else.
And I hope you do continue to work on more videos, and don't be afraid to keep them around, because some of us will watch them. And I just wanted to let you know that. So see you soon, okay? Okay, I was Pop, and yes, it was a good conversation. I actually enjoyed that. So let me just type him a message here. Let's see. Can I type a message? Here we go. Thank you for being on the show, period. I hope you will be on again soon. Okay, so... All right, so let's just type that message on Skype so we can come back to it. But it was actually a good show. I don't know why. No, it actually was a good show because we got a chance to cover something different than the normal stuff. Yeah. And what's also good about it is we got 9 likes. 9 likes on the show today. Hopefully we'll have more at the end of the show. It's over. Yeah. And people wanted me to kind of explain more about Pop's views, and I thought it'd be better to let him explain them. But yeah, the stuff with the Gnostics, Gnosticism is pretty interesting. But we also, tomorrow, we are going to go through, I'm going to go through my natal chart. Oh, it's Pop again. Okay. Go ahead, Pop. Oh, for some reason I get cut off. I can't call long distance to Canada, Pop. If you want to call me back, you got to call me back. I cannot call long distance to Canada. So I'll have to wait for him to call me back. But the point is, but I got 9 likes. So I did something right. So the thing is that tomorrow I'm going to try to get through and edit my natal chart down to the basic gist of like 2 or 3 pages of notes and try to explain my personality in a simpler way than try to sit through 33 pages of my notes of my natal chart, which is too long to go through. DM and Discord. Yeah, when I'm done with the show, I will. We're almost done. Now, does anybody have any questions for me? And it's not about that topic. We're not going to cover that today. No, we're not covering that today. But we are covering what we just talked about. If you want to ask me any questions about my faith system, we can talk about my faith system. Or we can talk about your faith system. And where do you think the human condition is going to lead to us to be? I did not see the DM yet, so I cannot respond to it. Yeah, it's a DM from yesterday. I did not see any new ones for today. So I will look at the ones that, if there's any new ones posted today. I have 3 new text messages that just came in. She says, I'm not, okay. And I should tell her this. Okay. Yeah, I just responded to a message for Rachel. I will look at the DM at the end of the show because I'm not going to cover that on the show tonight. So what you're going to do tomorrow is, on tomorrow night's show, is you're going to try to take your natal chart, and try to bring it down into something that's going to be shorter than all those pages. Okay. Go ahead, Pop. Go ahead.
Hello, are you still on the air?
Yeah, we are. We're just getting ready to wrap it up. But
I just wanted to clarify something that the creator spoke to me, and it's this. although we are gods and goddesses, we need to be careful because the Anunnaki, the biblical God, and the biblical Satan are corrupting that message too. And they're corrupting it because the biblical Satan is basically telling people, now, especially a lot of the people in Hollywood, where he's in the Illuminati, what they're telling people now is that, since you guys are gods and goddesses, you should become extremely narcissistic and use the law of attraction to manifest nice homes and nice cars, and you should fall in love with yourselves. And no, that's a false understanding of what being a god or goddess means.
So you're saying that's the biblical Satan trying to basically tell us that we should basically be full of it instead of actually trying to be a balanced approach.
But in reality, what it really means being a god or goddess is that it's actually meant to make you more humble in reality. Because it's meant to make you more humble, because when you have the knowledge that who you truly are, it's actually meant to make you not want the materialistic things and not want all the fancy things and all the selfishness, because you don't need it, because you already are God.
All right.
And another thing I want to add in is that Abraham does not promote materialism, even though it seems like they do. Their messages are misunderstood by a lot of people. They tell people that there's nothing wrong with materialism because they don't want to view materialism as the main enemy, but rather what Abraham is trying to say is that you can have, with using the tools of Abraham, God is the true creator, is basically telling us that you can have all the money in the world, you can have all the fame in the world, which is great, because now that according to the teachings of Abraham, now that every single person using the law of attraction can have all the money and all the fame in the world, in some ways, isn't that going to make materialism less attractive? Because if everyone can have it all, then who's really going to want it anymore if we can just use the law of attraction to have it? So instead of telling people that you're not allowed to be materialistic, you're not allowed to be greedy, you're not allowed to be selfish, isn't it more effective to tell people that you can have anything in the world,
right?
But what's the point? But what's the point of wanting it if you can already have it?
Right.
Right.
Brings another question. I'm gonna just make this quick. Is having to do. Well, he rang off, but let me just bring this up, and maybe tomorrow, maybe next week, we'll discuss this. Is why is it the biblical God talking about people being humble, which I don't have a problem with being humble for its own right, but what about all the homeless people in the world that by their hard luck are humble and screeching out a basic meager existence? Does the God of the Christian God actually look at them in a positive light because they're struggling and they're giving up their freedoms and their happiness to be living poor? I mean, take a look at St. Francis. I mean, I admire St. Francis and St. Clare, but did he have to really become a beggar? I mean, I'm not saying. I mean, for me as a Christian, it's like, well, maybe he thought that was the best way to be closer to the divine source, but I don't know. I'm really kind of confused about that part, but I'm willing to look into it. But anyway, guys, listen. I don't know where I'm not. He says, "Funny how Pop can get on anytime he wants, yet she censors us." I have offered to have you guys on the show and chat and on the phone, and yeah, here's the thing: nobody ever wants to call on Skype or Hangouts. And every time I try to get a couple people on Discord, somebody's sitting there playing soundboards and making funny noises, and meaning it's almost impossible to have a constructive conversation. And I got a little bit of gremlin problem here. Okay. So it's like, why is that? Why are we having a hard time getting people on the show? It's like I want to see people on here, but every time I get people on here, you guys, at least some small set of the group, is constantly upstaging everybody else, and serious conversation goes whoop right out the window. I mean, that's the whole problem I'm having here. There's like whoop. Nobody wants to talk seriously. I want to talk seriously, but it seems like the shows get derailed to the point where nobody knows anything of any serious content. My channel does not exist strictly for to be the bullshit channel. Okay, yeah, sometimes I do bullshit with you, but sometimes I'm also trying to be serious content too. And I want to try to have some serious content. I'm really working on trying. Remember what I said in the Walmart in January, that I'm working to make this channel better. That means that I have to find a topic, a theme, and work on that theme so that I can get more people to come onto the channel and watch the content. Just sitting there and bullshitting all night long is not going to cut it. That's not going to help people. It's not going to help you. It's not going to help me. And that's... I didn't even look at the DM. I saw... I didn't even look at the ones from today. I'm going to look at the ones from today. I didn't look at them yet. But what I'm trying to say is some of the stuff that comes up on these chats, like today's popular topic, which is not the topic I covered on the show, is an example of why I seriously have got to ignore you. Because some of the topic doesn't make any sense. How much can you talk about that topic and keep talking about it? It's not going to help anybody. It's not going to help you. It's not going to help you to spiritually grow. It's not going to help you to spiritually or physically mature. It's simply just going to be sitting there wasting an hour plus talking about something that makes no sense to talk about. It's like me talking about your zits, or how big your nose, long your nose hairs are, or how big your nostrils are, or how wide set apart your eyes are. What the hell is the point? That's not what this channel is about. I'm not here to judge you because your nostrils are big, long, skinny ski slopes in your nostrils, or got a heavy deviated septum, so you snore like a son of a bitch. I don't care about that. Okay? What I want to do is I want to help you to learn some new things to expand your spiritual and physical horizons and to help you grow. That's what this channel is for. This channel is to help encourage you to increase your ability to think analytically. That was what this channel was intended for. And I want to focus on that. Okay, so I'm the North American Snow Queen and I use the weather app. Fine, I use the weather app. Who says you can't use the tools that are present? The tools are present. They're there, you use them, right? So if you want to know the weather, say, for example, in Mexico City, what's wrong if I pull up the weather map and say, what's the weather in Mexico City? We have access to this technology. According to Pop, we are gods and demigods. That doesn't mean that we shouldn't use the tools presented to us by other gods or demigods who wrote the software that makes our lives easier. Remember, as a North American Snow Queen, in this lifetime, I have access to tools. That means I don't have to keep looking at everything through deep remote viewing. I can go straight to a map of weather information that's been presented to us. It's called science, baby. It's using science to play in the weather events, and there's nothing wrong with that. So what the fuck am I talking about? I just told you what I'm talking about. And that's what this channel was designed to do, was to help you to learn new things and to grow spiritually and other ways too. Not talk about what color underwear I wear, or what kind of headphones these are, or how much do I poop each day, or how much do I urinate each day? How much do I urinate in a single shot? Why are my eyes a certain color? Why is my hearing the way it is? That's kind of limiting. That's not even really getting to know the real me or anyone else for that matter. So that's the reason I think we need to learn new things. I haven't had much to work on this year because I am on the injured list. I am doing what I can at this point. So yeah, we are going to be entering soon to Ostara. Okay, we're already in Lent. We already had Ash Wednesday. Was it last Wednesday? I think it was last Wednesday. Last Wednesday. Or was it the Wednesday before? I think it was last Wednesday. Right. So we're going to have an Easter soon. And we're going to be covering a lot of things. And as we go through, and we have spring coming up in Ostara, my season will be done for the year. I have been on the injured list. There have been other weather sorcerers and sorceresses doing my job because I have been on the injured list. Okay, but now hopefully in a few months' time, for next winter, I'll be back on the active list. Okay, Mother God gave me ability to basically have very light duties this year. That doesn't mean I'm not doing my job. It just means I can't do as much. Okay. But I'm trying to get myself back on my feet. Literally, not just metaphorically, literally walking without a walker and literally walking around and trying to get active again. And I'm trying to get this situation with my landlord back in the good standing, and I'm just paid him, so he's all set. But I don't think you guys understand what I intended with this channel. So let me just remind you, I didn't create this channel to talk about stupid pedantic things like how wide my nostrils are, or how long my nose is, or what I've got between my legs. That was not the original intent of this channel. Okay? That was never the intent. And some people keep forgetting that. Now, Pop's not here, so it's just me. But what I'm trying to say is this channel was designed to be an educational channel where we can learn things together and to grow metaphorically, physically, spiritually, and personally. Not to sit there and bullshit about how wide your eyes are, or how big your nostrils are, or how big your lips are, or how fat your lips are, or any of that. Oh, I was doing stuff 2 years ago, but it wasn't as much. And this year I haven't been able to do really anything. Except do the convocation. I did that at Patty's house. But that doesn't mean that I don't have the title. Because I do. But when you're injured, you can't do as much. And besides, Mother God knows Michelle was injured, so she said basically that she would take care of it for the time being, but Michelle's coming back to work for next year. And she's trying to do some work this year. Yeah, trying to do some this year. But it's hard because I'm kind of feel kind of a little bit behind in some of the stuff that's been going on with the weather, and especially with the coronavirus and everything else. It's a lot of work. Just to try to catch up everything. And Mother God told me, she said, Michelle, don't worry about it. The season's almost over for the year anyway. It's just, yeah. I don't know about that, but the point is that tomorrow I'm going to work on my astrological chart. I'm going to try to take 33 pages of notes and turn them into a presentation of less than 2 or 3 pages. Notice I said try. That's a lot of notes. Oh, speaking of that, Prince Harry and Markle is potentially welcome to come back into Buckingham Palace, by the way. Queen said that she'd be willing to talk to him, but that doesn't sound like she's really too overall impressed. But yeah, I know. All right, guys, listen, tomorrow we have a live stream again on Facebook at 10 a.m. And I hope that you will watch. Those of you on Facebook, you get a chance to check out the stream. We do have a poll on Facebook. Unfortunately, because I don't have the community forum here, I can't offer the same kind of poll. I need, I think, 1,000 subs, I think. Something like that. 1,000 subs. And T-Mobile has been nice enough to give me some additional data quota this month coming up to help with the ability to stream the shows. And I did contact them, ask them about sponsorship. Doesn't mean I'm going to get anything, but I did put a request in. So we'll see what happens with that. And I got 5 people on here. It says they were never banned from Buckingham. He is her grandson. He will never change. I guess that misinformation was on Fox News. No, they weren't banned. But Prince Harry's son is the next to be in line at the request of the Queen. So it's just an example of strange shit that happens in the real world, of everyday world, the mundane world. It just doesn't make a lot of sense for a lot of people, but that's okay. Anyway, so guys, the most important thing is tomorrow, please do come to the Facebook stream at 10 a.m. And don't forget, we have another live stream tomorrow here on YouTube at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. What are we going to cover? Who the hell knows? So hopefully I will try to find something new. I did say I was going to try to edit down my natal chart into a statement that makes sense for the average everyday person. And maybe I'll just focus on a general description from the houses of the natal chart and then edit it down from there. I know you said you don't do Facebook. I don't know why. I know that. And the Facebook exclusive stream is not on YouTube. Conversely, the live stream is not directly on Facebook, other than the announcing of it. And I will never be on my face place. I have no idea. It's not impossible with Pop. I don't know. I don't have him planned for tomorrow. I want to try to get more people on the stream. I want to try to have more conversations with more people. I know that Richard R11 had planned to get Rebecca Marina Messenger on a few years ago, but that didn't happen. So I don't know. It would be interesting to get Rebecca Marina Messenger on the show, but I don't think she'll ever be on because she's always busy working out there and speaking and doing her teaching in her classes. But I just thought it would be really fun. It won't be here because he always gets on. Well, Pop is good for one reason, and that is he's a good for today's show. I didn't really have anything to cover. I did want to talk to him about what his faith system was because I wanted to have him kind of try to explain it to me. I kind of now understand it to a point. So that's what was kind of interesting. And I think, I actually talked to him in chat or text message a couple of months ago. So, and he did visit the show once. Not too long ago, before I got injured. So you probably will see him again, I think. He was actually very disturbed to know that I got hurt. I talked to him in a text message. He says, what happened to you is a disaster with the injury. And I said, well, maybe, but I don't see this strictly a disaster. I see it as just the way life is sometimes. Life can throw you curveballs. You just got to know how to catch them, that's all. All right, so majority of the viewers hate him, but you don't care my opinion. I don't think the majority hate him because I see 9 likes here. So somebody likes it. Some people found it interesting. Come on, 9 likes? Wow. Can't bitch. 9 likes. So somebody actually did like the content. So I felt that why not go for it? No, 10 likes. Yeah, say 10 likes. So 10 to 21. Hey, that's not bad. I'll take that. It's not exactly fantastic odds. But it was a fun show overall. All right, guys, listen. So tomorrow, just to remind you, 10 a.m. Facebook for those who can make it, and also we have the 8 o'clock show, 8 p.m. show here on YouTube, and don't forget we have the Saturday show on YouTube at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. That's going to be because of the data quota thing with YouTube. I don't know if we're going to continue to stream with Restream IO or not. It's not really working out with Twitch anyway, because people don't seem to really like it with Twitch. You got... Well, speaking of funny thing about Pop is watch the videos on his channel. He only had like 1 or 2 dislikes on his videos. So obviously, of course, I have a lot more people watching my content than they watch his, and more subs on my channel. But, hey, you can't complain. You get a couple hours of basically killing some time. You're bored, Isn't that the main thing of the show? Even if you were to mute the sound, is you guys get a chance to talk to each other? It doesn't seem like you're doing much talking to each other except saying hello to each other, which is fine. And there's nothing wrong with that. And of course, the thing that makes this show awesome is the fact is that you might think I'm being mean and rude and raunchy, but I'm not. I actually tolerate quite a bit tonight. And I ignored every single one of those questions about that subject on purpose. Thus, that's why I got Pop on. Because I figured if I'm going to be ignoring a lot of the crap, I might as well have a valid conversation instead of just twiddling my thumbs. So, stats not your strong suit. Well, it may not be my strong suit, but look, the score is 11 to 21, so I think that's 50%. That's about 50%. Yeah, okay. So if you put that as a fractional part, 11 divided by 21, let's figure this out. Let's mathematically calculate that. It's about 50%. And I got to get back and check out something on with Rachel, but I will go check out the Hangouts. Anyway, so let me take a look at that mathematically. Let's calculate this. Unfortunately, my calculator does not do fractions on my phone. So 11 divided by 21 that you say we have is 0.52 or a little more than 50% approval rating, likes to dislikes, which is, for me, I think is pretty good. So I don't really see it as a bad thing. Now, let's see. What did Rachel want to show me in Hangouts? Okay. So, all right. It's interesting. Okay. Out on the wires blocking people. Yes. Congratulations. Thanks. And I will. So, out on the wire, according to her, the only reason why I originally put you on was to block a pop. That if you really are truly blocking potentially good people, I really tend to wonder if you are doing that. I'm going to ask you before I do anything. Are you blocking people that are not causing problems? Or are you blocking people that are causing problems only, besides Pop? Because I really do wonder about that. Because I really, as a mod, it's responsibility. Well, it's still either way. I'm still ahead. Right? I'm blocking people. She blocked everybody, not me. She did block a few. She did block a few people, or she actually hid them. She didn't normally do a lot of blocking, but some of the people that she blocked really were trying to create a lot of mayhem. So yeah, I saw that, and I blocked a few too, and so I mean it's harder for me because for some reason when I'm streaming on this internet connection with my T-Mobile, it seems like every time I access the block control tools, it just sort of crawls. I've been watching the chat and saw 7 people get blocked. Most were by Michelle and the rest were Rachel. It says on the text. Yes, I know that. Yeah, I agree. I blocked a few. And I know Rachel blocked a few. And that's fine. Okay. I mean, I'm just trying to say is that really we got to work on this a bit better, guys. And we need to work on trying to both sides is have a little more courtesy towards each other, because the whole point of this channel, as I said, is to share information. So I don't really like to play block control, really, unless I really have to. It's just not my thing. No, because she's not afraid, because you know the truth. Besides, like I said, the problem right now is that that's one reason I want to focus on other content besides some of the scandals that keep showing up, because it's not really what I want to do anyway. I know that some people don't like my content, and I know that they never will. Okay, it's just the nature of the channel. People have the right to like or dislike the content, but honestly, don't forget, as a content creator, I'm going to try to make my content more likable somehow. And if you have a channel that has a topic and has a theme and has a goal, you should be able to get your likes up. Just that's no lie. It's just the truth. I really kind of would rather see us try to cover more deeper and thought-provoking questions than worrying about the stuff that I mentioned earlier, because it doesn't make any sense anyway. It's stupid. It's just stupid. There are millions of hungry people in the world. There are people who are terrified about the COVID-19. There are people who are basically freaking out over if they get the sniffle or a cough, and thinking that the whole world is going to collapse down on their face. It's, some of the stuff, of course, is propaganda spin from the mass media, but still, it's just, I want to focus on more sincere content. I want to cover more good stuff, not the latest tragedy of the day. See, and that's okay. I don't know what DMS is, but if you're talking about the channel statistics, the analytics reports, I know about them. And it's one of the reasons why we need to make some changes. If we're going to take this channel to 1,000 subs, we're going to have to really make some changes. And that's my goal. I want to get this channel to 1,000 subs. I want to get back on the YPP. I want to start making money. And I need to start making money. And I don't think my channel by itself is going to make that kind of money, because the truth is that the click rate is just not there yet. I mean, if we get to 1,000 subs and 3,000 viewers, 2,400, yeah, 2,400, 24 hours, 4,000 hours, 36,000 viewer minutes. You almost had it at one point. I know I almost did before my injury. Yeah, I did get close to that. But we still were short on the subs. We were still short on the subs. All right, guys. So for right now, I'll talk to you soon. As far as DMS, I don't know what that means. That means degrees, minutes, and seconds. But I'll tell you what, we've been on the air for 2 hours, 9 minutes, and 33 seconds. So, oh yeah, by the way, that's a mathematical trick. If you ever need to do time math, ready for this? You can actually, if you have a scientific calculator, you can use the degrees, minutes, and seconds to deal with hours, minutes, and seconds, which is great for dealing with timesheets because you can actually convert and deal with the base 60. Yeah. All right, guys. Anyway, I'll see you soon. Stay out of trouble. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, everybody.